So at this point we've finished our design. So the final thing before exporting the Gerber files is to run this tool here, perform design rules check. This is basically an automatic checking robot to make sure our design meets the specifications, so we can add minimum track width, via size and so on, and make sure our design fits those specifications. So I'm going to hit run DRC, and under problems and markers, no problems there, everything's fine. But there is a problem under unconnected items, and we can see right here I have forgotten to connect these two footprints together. So I'll go back and make a copper track between those 2 points, go back to the checker, I'll hit delete all markers, run the DRC again, and this time there is 0 errors. Now one really cool feature of Kicad is we can go up to view and then click on 3D viewer, and we get a preview of what our circuit board looks like with the components, no less. Look at that. And this is a great way of checking your design before ordering your PCBs. Make sure all the footprints look right, everything's spaced properly. Looks really neat. Now notice our circuit board has quite sharp edges, and because it's fiberglass they can actually be quite sharp enough to cut you. So there is a little trick I like to do to round the corners of the circuit board off. So I'll close that and I'll go back to my edge cuts layer, and I'm going to delete my lines. And then we're going to choose this tool, add graphic arc. So I'm going to select here, I'm going to drag out, and then I'm going to make an arc. I'm going to go back to add graphic lines, and then I'm going to join the arcs together. Cool. Now I'll go back to the 3D viewer, and now you can see the circuit board has a fillet on the corners, no sharp edges. Very nice. Now the last thing I want to do before we export the Gerber files is add a logo and some text to the front silkscreen layer to make our circuit board look really finished. So we're going to close the viewer, and we're going to open up the footprints library, and we're going to scroll down to symbol. In here you'll find various symbols such as FCC compliance logos, Kicad logos, and so on. Some of the logos are on the printed silk screen, and some of them are actually etched into the copper layer. So just be careful that you choose the right one, whatever one takes your fancy. But for this tutorial we're going to add a custom logo, and it of course is OurPCB. So we're going to add that over here. And if you want to add text to your circuit boards, you come over here and click on the text symbol, and then I'm going to call this how to make PCB. We can select what layer the text will appear on. I'm going to choose the front silks. We can also change the width, the height of the text, the thickness, and if we want italic or not. I'll leave that all default, and then I'll place my text here. And it's also a good idea to add version numbers to your circuit, so I'll call this version 1.0. Select the front silk screen again and place that over here. So now let's take a look at our PCB. Well, that's looking really nice. We've got our company logo down here, we've got how to make PCB version 1.0. So now we are ready to export the Gerber files. So to generate Gerber files, first click on File, come down to Plot. So we need to select our output directory. So I'm going to generate a new folder and call it Gerbers inside my project folder. Going to select that. Do you want to use this path? Yes. And then we're going to hit Plot, and we'll get a list of all the Gerber files that have been created. There's a Gerber file for each of the layers in our circuit board, and we're also going to select generate drill files, it'll automatically select the same folder. This is all the settings I use. They're all default. And I hit generate drill file. Successfully created. Close that. Close that. So here is the directory folder for the project I've been working on, and I'll go into the Gerbers folder we just created, and here are all the Gerber files. You can send these to your choice of PCB manufacturer to get your circuit boards into production.